This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Observations on Urban Aesthetics by Wim Denslagen. The City as a Work of Art. Jane Jacobs. A city cannot be a work of art, Jane Jacobs tells us in her famous book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities, 1961. Jane Jacobs, born and raised in New York, was a champion of the struggle against the urban renewal of her time, symbolized by skyscrapers and highways. She fought for decent and safe neighborhoods, but never for urban beautification. Another New York citizen, Lewis Mumford, the author of The Culture of Cities, 1938, reviewed Jacobs's book and, of course, read the statement cited above. He was very surprised because he could not believe that this well-educated author seemed so insensitive to the artistic aspects of cities and accused her in The New Yorker, December 1, 1962, of aesthetic Philistinism with a vengeance. Mumford thought that Jacobs had overlooked an essential aspect of urban planning, but I think Jacobs didn't overlook anything. She meant what she wrote. For her and many of her colleagues, it is utterly irrelevant what a city looks like. A city is something to use as you would use a kitchen or a farm. In this respect, Jacobs's opinion belongs to the modern movement, where the function of buildings and cities is essential and their outward appearance of minor importance. Jacobs's opinion may seem outrageous at first, but after she said this, we might want to learn more about what her reasoning was for coming to this conclusion. She must have been aware that in the eyes of many people, cities can be admired solely for their urban beauty. She must have been aware that some cityscapes have been immortalized by renowned artists. For instance, she must have seen, like so many have, Johannes Vermeer's painting of Delft, 1660. Here, Vermeer revealed Delft's particular beauty, a beauty nobody had captured before. This painting of Delft defined the way we see its cityscape. It became part of our collective memory. Did Jacobs ignore artistic representations of cities? Probably not, but these representations seemed to have little meaning in her work. She also wrote about other aspects of cities. She opposed the destruction of old neighborhoods and the urban renewal plans that mirrored modernistic ideals, like those, for instance, of Robert Moses, her most important opponent. Modernist urban planners believed that cities should be redesigned to accommodate the flow of traffic and to separate its various functions, such as housing and industry. Jacobs vigorously opposed these ideals, and she never worked up the slightest bit of admiration for the modern highway or high-rise. Perhaps her battles with people like Moses prevented her from admiring the parkways of Robert Moses. Anyway, for her and her supporters, beauty remained a thing of minor importance in urbanism. That is perhaps why in her book she never mentioned Siegfried Giedion, who described Moses's parkways as works of art, as creations born out of the spirit of this age, the beauty of which is only to be grasped as one moves by going along in a steady flow, as the rules of traffic prescribe. Mondo. The space-time feeling of our period can seldom be felt so keenly as when driving '1. Historic cities. Moses destroyed the old neighborhoods that Jacobs cherished. Both rejected the idea that a city could be a work of art. They were not unlike many other professionals in the field of architecture. This raises the question of whether there is a connection between the negation of cityscapes as works of art and ignoring their beauty. Before trying to come up with an answer to this question, it may be instructive to reread some laments about the loss of historic cityscapes in the past, such as Lost London, 1971, and Paris Perdu, 1991. The authors of these two books, among others, are very distressed about what these cities have lost, to the point where their work sounds more like mere complaining that shows no hope for the future. The aim of these types of
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.